Good morning, fellow bird friends. In response to our last video about what you can do to help the birds, we got a whole lot of really great positive feedback, and we had people asking for more videos, which is wonderful. So I'm glad you liked it, and I'm here today to talk a little bit more about a specific topic. So last time I kind of covered a whole bunch of different things that you can do to help the birds, and today I want to focus on just one topic. And the topic today is fishing line and fishing gear. So there are a few different things that go along with that. First of all, there's the fishing line itself, which can pose an entanglement risk. So the birds can get stuck in there, they'll get trapped, and maybe, they just can't fly away. Maybe the line also can tighten up and cut off blood flow. So the entanglement itself of the line is one thing. The second thing is the lead in lead weights and sinkers. That obviously is going to cause lead poisoning. A lot of our waterfowl, when they ingest that, they just don't know that it's not food. They think that it's something like a piece of corn, and they'll eat it, and it can cause lead poisoning. Not to mention our raptors, if they catch a fish that has eaten something like that, they may eat it accidentally too. So it can be a problem not only for waterfowl, but also for things like eagles and ospreys. The third thing that goes along with fishing gear is the other pieces of fishing gear. So the tackle, so we're talking about like the hooks and the worms, like the artificial worms. And those sorts of things that they can eat. Obviously that's going to be a big problem for them if they do eat it. Also, the hooks and things can be more entanglement risk, and they get stuck in their feathers and stuck in their skin, and obviously they can hurt them. So those are the things we're going to cover today. We're actually out here at beautiful Chambers Lake when we are doing a little bit of cleanup today. I'll flip you around here. This is Chambers Lake in Chester County, and our volunteers are working today to do some fishing line cleanup. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of that and talk about it a little bit. So you can see here, one of our volunteers is working to disentangle a line. You can see how hard that line is. It's very strong, and he's having a difficult time getting it all untangled. Most birds just don't have enough force to be able to break that line. So if it does get stuck on them, they just kind of have to work at it, just like he's doing, to try and get themselves free. So for birds, they just don't have a multi-tool that they can cut the line. They don't have enough strength to break the line. So they really do just have to kind of work at it if they happen to get stuck in it. Sometimes they're lucky and they break free, and that's wonderful. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And if the line does end up stuck on a piece of the bird, their wing or their foot, it can really cause them great harm, because it will actually potentially cut off blood circulation to that limb, which means, they probably won't be able to survive like that. The other thing too is if they get stuck, they obviously can't hunt for food. They can't get away from predators. So the line can be very damaging to them if they do get caught in it. The great thing though, I know it's a little bit sad news, is that you can definitely help. So you can pick a patch just like we did. Maybe get together a group of friends, or just a couple of you, or just you by yourself for some alone time. Maybe get your kids involved, and you can clean up. So with fishing line, it's really important to go back and forth through the same area a few times. So either yourself or with a couple of different people. The fishing line is really difficult to see. So as you go back and forth, you'll miss things the first time, and then you'll come back through and you'll find them again, and you'll think, how did I even miss that the first time? So you can see that's what he's doing now. He's actually looking through some of this bric-a-brac, because the line can very easily blend in. So definitely picking a patch and cleaning up is a way that you can help. Something else you can do is, if you are at a park or nearby to a park, or a trail or some other municipal place, a lot of times they'll have trash cans, but they don't necessarily think about fishing trash specifically. So if you can get them to put those trash cans, so you can see here he's working on another tangle. If you can get them to put a trash can nearby to where the fishing line is, it'll help fishermen to be able to clean up a little bit better themselves. It'll make it easier for them, and easier is good, because they're more likely to help clean up. You definitely do want to make sure that those cans have lids though. The other thing, speaking of fishermen, is to spread the word. So you can see here at Chambers this morning that we do have some fishermen over on the shoreline. And when we get over there, we'll actually stop and talk to them. A a lot of times they thank us for what we're doing, and they want us to know that, hey, we always clean up after ourselves, and we try to make sure that this place stays good for our kids, and for other people who want to use the lake and who want to enjoy it, like the kayakers and everybody else that we have out here this morning. So a lot of times fishermen are happy to hear your little spiel about fishing line, and sometimes they even want to help you to clean up, which is amazing. Also, just telling your neighbors and your friends and your family about the dangers of fishing line, help to spread the word, is wonderful. If you do happen to be a scout leader, or if you just like to take your own kids fishing or your neighbor's kids, one of the other wonderful things that you can do to help spread the word is to teach our youth. So teach kids what a danger fishing line and fishing gear can be, and how important it is to clean that stuff up. So at the end of your fishing expedition, take a few minutes to look around you, to pick up any trash, to pick up your own line, and to pick up any other line that's also laying around. It only takes 5 or 10 minutes, and you could be saving a life, so it's definitely worth taking the time. So you can imagine, if you were a bird, how difficult of a time you'd be having with this particular tangle here. You'd be very, very stuck in there. And also you can see how hard it is to see the line. It kind of blends right in with some of the muck and the scum from the pond there. So just wanted to point that out since we had a nice little demonstration here. The last thing that I wanted to tell you guys too, kind of a note to end on here, is the disposal of the line when you get to the end of your day. So you do want to make sure that you're using a trash can or another receptacle that has a lid, so that birds and wildlife can't get into the line once it is cleaned up. The other thing too is, if you can, like if you can take the line home and cut it up into little bits, maybe 2 or 3 inches long, that'll help to prevent, in case the line gets out of the trash can, or in case it blows out of the trash truck, or when it finally gets to the landfill. That is also still a risk. Sometimes, you know, there are gulls or crows that hang out at the landfill. So to help save their lives too, cut it up into small pieces, and then it no longer is a risk for them. Or if you want to, you can actually search online and find ways to recycle the monofilament. I've done this before. It takes some time because you have to actually clean the line, take all the hooks and the sticks and everything else out of it, and prepare it to be sent back for recycling. So it's not always the easiest process, but especially if you have people who are willing to sit down, maybe they can't help you with the cleanup. It's, you know, too dangerous, or the footing is hard for them. Maybe they can be your ones back at base camp, who are taking the time to disentangle the line and clean it and pick it apart so that it can be recycled. So if you look that up online, there are different places you can drop it off and ways that you can send it in. So thank you for joining me today as we talked about our fishing line cleanup. I hope that it encourages you to go out and pick a patch, and help to keep it clean, and also to spread the word about the dangers of fishing line, and also what you can do to help with the problem. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys.